Welcome to the Walton Pi. Today we're going to be talking about the quotient rule. So the quotient rule is similar to the product rule in that it allows us to find the derivative of a function that is comprised of multiple functions that are combined in a specific way. So the product rule allows us to take the derivative of a function that is two functions multiplied by each other. The quotient rule is going to be used to take the derivative of one function divided by another. So if we have f of x divided by g of x, the derivative of that is going to be g of x times f prime of x minus f of x times g prime of x all over g of x squared. Now there's a bunch of different mnemonics devices for this. So you have bottom times the derivative of the top minus the top times the derivative of the bottom all over the bottom squared. That's one mnemonic device. The one that I use to remember it is a little jingle that my calculus teacher had us all sing for a day until we memorized it. And it went low d high minus high d low over low low. So low d high, g of x times f prime of x, minus high d low, f of x times g prime of x, all over low low. That's the bottom squared. So that is one way that you can remember it. And there's, again, tons of different jingles or mnemonic devices, so feel free to come up with your own and use that instead. So let's use the quotient rule to find the derivative of f of x equals x squared minus 2 all over x plus 1. So let's write it as a fraction, and then the quotient rule tells us it's going to be low d high minus high d low all over low low. So we have low d high, x plus 1 times the derivative of x squared minus 2. That's low d high minus high d low. X squared minus 2, that's high, d low, derivative of x plus 1. All over low low, all over the x plus 1 squared. So we just plugged this into the quotient rule, and now we're going to evaluate each of those different pieces and combine them. So that gives us x plus 1 times 2x minus x squared minus 2 times 1 all over x plus 1 squared. That becomes 2x squared plus 2x minus x squared plus 2 all over x plus 1 squared, or x squared plus 2x plus 2 all over x squared plus 2x plus 1, or another way to write that is 1 plus 1 over x plus 1 squared. Both of those end results on the very bottom line are perfectly valid answers. But yeah, this is going to be the quotient rule. So let's look at the derivative of 1 over x squared. Now, we could do this with the quotient rule. We could also rewrite this as x to the minus 2 and then use the power rule. So the power rule tells us bring down the exponent and subtract 1 from it. So we bring down the negative 2 times x to the negative 2 minus 1, or minus 3. So we should get the derivative is negative 2 times x to the minus 3. Let's just see if we get the same thing if we use the quotient rule. So the quotient rule, we have low d high minus high d low all over low low. So x squared times the derivative of 1 minus 1 times the derivative of x squared all over x squared squared. That becomes 0x squared minus 2x all over x to the 4th, or negative 2 over x cubed, which is the same thing as negative 2x to the minus 3. So the quotient rule works here as well. Our last example is going to be this one. What is the derivative of x squared times e to the x all over 2x minus 1? Well, let's just use the quotient rule. We have low d high minus high d low all over the bottom squared. So we get 2x minus 1 times the derivative of x squared e to the x minus x squared e to the x times the derivative of 2x minus 1 all over 2x minus 1 squared. Well, we have a derivative of x squared e to the x in there. So we're going to have to use the product rule to find that derivative. So we are going to have 2x minus 1 times the derivative of x squared e to the x. So the product rule says that's going to be x squared times the derivative of e to the x plus the derivative of x squared times e to the x minus 2x squared e to the x all over 2x minus 1 squared. So we get 2x minus 1 times x squared e to the x plus 2x e to the x minus 2x squared e to the x all over 2x minus 1 squared. Expanding out and then simplifying and canceling out some terms, we end up with x e to the x times 2x squared plus x minus 2 all over 2x minus 1 squared. That's going to be our answer. I hope this video was helpful for you in understanding the quotient rule a little bit better. Please check out some of my other videos, and please like and subscribe if you haven't already so I can continue to make these sorts of videos. Thanks so very much, and have a great rest of your day.